Hey everybody, I'm attorney Kyle Kaufman at hkklawoffices.com. Welcome to our channel. In today's video, I want to tell you about 3 mistakes that people make in divorces involving their children. All right. Before I do that, if you like what we're doing here at our channel, please like, subscribe, and leave comments below. Here are 3 things that I see as a family law lawyer in Wisconsin, mistakes that parents make in divorce matters when children are involved. And stick around for the end of the video because I'm going to tell you the real reason why these are real big mistakes. So the first one is what I would describe as fighting, right? When parents are fighting, particularly in front of their children, that is very problematic, okay? And even if the children are not involved and you're having disputes that rise to the level of raising your voice or violence or throwing things and breaking things, those are just huge mistakes, okay? In a divorce matter when you're trying to figure out who the children should be living with and who should have placement of them. Very problematic in the moment and in the outcome of your case. It's a factor that will strongly be considered as to how you behave with your significant other or soon-to-be ex-significant other. So the second one comes down to this. Oftentimes, a parent, unfortunately, will resort to using things like saying that they were going to harm themselves, okay? And using that as a tactic to try to get the other parent to talk to them, to reunify, to allow them to see the children or something of that nature. That is unfortunately a sad thing that is happening, but that is a mistake. And it's something that needs to be dealt with, but when you are breaking apart from somebody or figuring out how to spend time with your children, bringing that matter to that other parent is really a mistake and should be properly dealt with a counselor or a medical provider, all right? Rather than presenting that issue, it causes the other parent to have significant concerns about your parenting abilities, your mental health, and the safety of the children then in your care. Mistake 3 is this. I just call it essentially disappearing. Oftentimes we see parents, they just shut down. They can't handle it, they can't deal with this, and they decide that they are just going to go off on their own and essentially decide for themselves how they're going to live life. And sometimes that can be just a day, which isn't the biggest deal, I guess, but it sometimes lasts a week or weeks or months, and several months, and I've even seen it be a year or more, all right? And what happens in that situation is, while for that person it might serve their best interest to get that break or do things on their own, by essentially not being a part of it, you are tuned out of parenting. You're not involved with your kids or your children. And what happens is when that parent decides to tune back in and essentially get back into the regular programming, there's a lot of resistance and apprehension to that for good reason, because you've just not been around. So those are 3 mistakes that I see. Now, those all, I promise you the real reason why. Those are all concerning in your case while it's pending, because those are some strong factors that a court would consider, right? Like, are you fighting? Are you verbally abusive? Are you breaking things? Are you physically abusive? Do you have mental health concerns that are so significant that you're making threats of hurting yourself? And 3, you've just essentially disappeared and tuned out. Those are big in the moment and certainly will be a factor in that decision that's going to be made in your case, likely within a time frame of anywhere from 3 months to a year. But there's a long tail effect of that too, and I'm talking about the 10-year type thing that really is the real reason why these are mistakes, because these acts, when parents are doing this, are typically happening in front of their children, or their children are noticing it. And the concern of all of that is that kids learn from their parents. They learn from us. We are their first teachers. And kids are exposed to that programming, right? And what you don't want is when your kids become adults and they become parents, that this is how they parent, right? They fight, they're violent, they don't have emotional control, and they just tune out. So parents, you need to stop the cycle. That's the best way to avoid that, and make that decision that's not just in the moment what's best for you to see your kids immediately, but thinking about that long tail effect on your kids 10 years from now or longer when they're adults, and stopping that cycle and making sure that they then are not parenting in the same way. All right, guys, so I hope you found this video to be valuable and you'll use some of these ideas as you're thinking about your case. Make sure to talk to an attorney about your divorce matter, your child custody matter. We're family law attorneys in Wisconsin. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks.